Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our weekly political program on Lagos Television. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. Our dear country, Nigeria, clocked 64. And when you look at the journey of Nigeria, it's been a combination of the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you look at our economy, our political development, among other things that we can refer to that has made us as a nation, and of course, the giant of Africa, and a force to be reckoned with in the world. This evening on the program, we'll be looking at Nigeria at 64, and of course, that will take us through our journey politically, economically, and of course, the things that we need to do to chart the way forward for our dear country, Nigeria. This evening on the program, I have as my guest the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. But before we go into our discussion this evening on the program, we'll take a very short break at this moment to take the trending news in the polity. Stay with us. You're still on to the Pendulum on Lagos Television. I did say before that break that our guest tonight is the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. It's our pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you, sir.
All right, their country, Nigeria, clocked 64 recently, and then 64 years in the life of anyone is not a joke. But looking at our trajectory as a nation now, would you say that as a country, we have fulfilled the dreams of our founding fathers and their aspirations?
Well, definitely we have. We have. When you want to measure achievements, particularly when it has to do with a nation, there are so many factors that you have to put into consideration. The major one, we talk about economy largely, but the security is very, very, very important. Today, even though we have issues, Boko Haram, kidnappers, and the rest of them in the part of the nation, but such cannot be compared with what we have today in Ukraine, in Sudan, and other places. So in a nation that you have peace, largely, that gives opportunity to determine what the economy is all about, it shows that we are making progress. You can only consider economic situation when you have peace, when there's stability, and when there's progress. So for me, irrespective of whatever, I want to say, fine, Nigeria has attained 64, but we are making progress. The progress may be slow somehow, beyond our expectation. But for the fact that we have people, all of us, going back to our respective homes, sleeping overnight, the following morning, going back to where we work, it shows that there's stability. And the most important thing is about stability and peace. So we are making progress.
When you look at the quality of governance in those days, in the days of Obafemi Awolowo, Tafawa Balewa, and the quality of governance and leadership that we have now, are there any basis for us to compare them?
There is none. Number one, when you look at it, what was the system we practiced then? Compare it to what we have now. During the regional system, each region was independent of the center, only contributing to the center. Can we say or claim same now? It's not possible. Now we have to wait onto the center to disburse for the component units to exercise whatever or implement whatever program they have. So what we have now is far-fetched and different from what we used to during Awolowo, even though we were so young then, but we read and heard so many things. It was the region that was contributing to center. But what we have now, it is the center that is disbursing to the component units. So there's no room for comparison.
So how does that connect with the fact that we are claiming, so-called to say, that we are practicing true federalism?
Well, that has been said repeatedly. It has been analyzed that what we have now, it is a federalism clothed in unitary system. They say we are practicing federalism. Each state has no own on whatever resource they have in that state. You say we are practicing federalism, and you still have the center police controlling each unit of the center. So the say of the component unit is so limited. So we are practicing federalism just by words of the mouth, but not in true sense of federalism. But I want to say kudos to the National Assembly, the past nationals, the ninth National Assembly, because they've been able to amend the Constitution, giving, some powers to the states. We now talk about electricity, we talk about railways, we talk about so many things. So, which means we are getting there gradually. But we cannot come out boldly to say we are practicing federalism.
Okay, from your narration so far, you kept referring to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended in 1999. But some people have faulted that Constitution, saying that it started with we. Meanwhile, the people never made any contribution to this particular Constitution. At this point in our history, at 64 years, don't you think we need a new Constitution, or we should restructure?
For us in the Lagos House of Assembly, before now, restructuring has always been our position. And by extension, the states, Lagos State, that's restructuring. And the restructuring, from our own consideration, is going to be in the interest of everybody. It's going to be in the interest of everybody. When you allow each state to manage whatever resource or resources under its geographical location, is to the benefit of that state, and by extension to the center. What we have under the center now is so huge, and from the practice in the years past, we have discovered that the center has been unable to manage such, and that is what informed the whatever we are facing now. Yeah, we have heard about NLPC and the huge inefficiency and others that follows. We have heard about foreign nationals coming to Nigeria, extracting our natural resources without solution, and many more. And that's also informed the issue of Boko Haram, because the security has been centered, and the states, the component units, are so weak that they cannot manage security within the various geographical locations. So all we are looking at is that if we are able to devolve more powers to the states, then we think there will be enormous change in the nation. And that's, in return, will affect whatever we want to talk about.
Okay, where do you stand on the creation of state police?
For me, in totality, we support state police. When I say we, including the members of Lagos State, we've been on this. And I want to tell you that every assembly, from 5th Assembly, 6th Assembly, 7th Assembly, 10th Assembly, we have made pronouncements, we have made resolutions that we want state police. And it is only state police that can guarantee our safety and prevention of crime in all the states. How can you bring somebody from Sokoto to come and mount security in Agege, in Ikorodu, Ekpe? It's not going to work. In civilized crime, when we want to talk, we talk about the West, we talk about the Europe, we talk about all of that. They have security system that is between the center, the state, and the local. So why are we running? And at the same time, we claim to be practicing the same system with America. But what we do here, in comparison to that of America, they are so different. There's a huge gap. So how do we get it? And that is why even in the center of the most recognized, almost fifth or sixth, economy in Africa, we still have issue of kidnapping and others. How many police officers do we have in each police station? How can they cover the terrain given to them? And with the economic situation that we are witnessing now, it is very common knowledge and well known that the running costs for each police station cannot be claimed by the officer in charge. We talk about the DPO. So how do you intend to manage them? So the load is huge. It's very difficult one for the center. The only thing that can solve our problem is to sit together and look at what we have and provide solutions. And that is why we are claiming that, or pronouncing that there must be restructuring. Before now, the only part of the nation that we believe wasn't in support of the restructuring was the North. But now they are not supporting issue of security, state police. Are they not? Likewise, almost everywhere. Nigeria is a great nation. We can surpass, even before now, before colonization, we have, shown and exhibited ourselves that we are a great nation. Like in Benin, we have done so many things that were taken away by the colonial masters. The Egba people had their independence before the one pronounced by our colonial masters. So it shows that we are great people and we can deliver. Let us look inward. Let us correct whatever is holding us back. We can do it. The only problem we have is trust. The North does not trust the East does not trust the West, and all that. And the current administration, everybody must support it. There's no magic anywhere. Imagine economy. If you inherit something that has been so bastardized, you don't have magic to turn it all over overnight. It takes time. So they must support the current administration and allow it to, change whatever we have now, but it's not overnight.
Okay, before we go into Nigerians giving time and opportunity to the present administration, I'm still going to take you back to the to the issue of state police. Yeah. But before then, we'll be taking a very short break on the program at this moment to bring you the soundbite of the week. When we come back, our conversation with the Right Honourable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly will continue.
I am deeply aware of the struggles many of you face in these challenging times. Our administration knows that many of you struggle with rising costs and the search for meaningful employment. I want to assure you that your voices are heard. As your president, I assure you that we are committed to finding sustainable solutions to alleviate the suffering of our citizens. Once again, I plead for your patience as the reforms we are implementing show positive signs, and we are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We still have with us on the Pendulum this week the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, and of course he's been giving us his own perspective on Nigeria at 64. He spoke about the economy, insecurity, and the need for us to restructure the country. Right Honorable Speaker, before that break, you were trying to give us some perspective as regards the need for the creation of state police, but there are fears in certain quarters because of the mannerism and attitude of our governors that they are going to abuse it. They will hold people, especially their political opponents, they will hold them by the jugular if we have state police in 36 states of the Federation. How do you think we can manage it in such a way that the governors will not abuse this creation of state police?
For me, that is just ordinary sentiments. If you are claiming that the governors will abuse state police, what about this, the federal police? Have we not witnessed a situation where such system has been abused? Do we want to claim ignorance of such? Even before now, we talked about something that has to do with the Western region in those days between Akitola, which police were introduced to the Western region. So it has not changed. It is all about the person in charge. It's not about the system. And that is why we have been agitating for promotion of democratic institutions, devoid of an individual. A governor is an individual. The speaker is an individual. Executive is an institution. The legislature is an institution. The judiciary is an institution. So we must not look at a person in determining what will happen to our nation and our states. So if you start entertaining fear because somebody probably will abuse a system that will be beneficial to everybody, then you are getting it wrong. We should stop that. When Obasa was president in 1999, we had so many elections. Many sitting governors were challenged by the system, and the police were, let me say the police as a body was in support. We can recall the situation that happened in Anambra. Many Senate presidents were removed. So what are we saying? So how do we now start entertaining fear because we want to introduce state police because of fear of what will happen, whereas such happened at the center? Likewise, by extension, Lagos Island, Etiosa, Ikorodu.
Okay, in our 64 years of history now, what do you think we could have done better as a nation? Reflecting now, you know, in different sectors of the economy.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe probably we should not have changed from regional to what unitary that we have now. Maybe probably we shouldn't have allowed military people to make incursion into our system. Maybe we shouldn't have allowed what we have now. Probably the case will have been different. And we have reasons, or I have reasons of saying that. Western region was far more developed than many European countries. The Eastern region was catching up with Western region. At the same time, the Northern region. So there was kind of economic explosion, I mean, positively. There was safety in terms of security. There was infrastructural development everywhere. So probably we shouldn't have allowed the military incursion. And we shouldn't have allowed, what is it called, Agui Rosi, to change the Constitution to what we have now.
All right, that's part one of our interview on the Pendulum with the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. We'll be taking a break now, but do remember that next week you can still join us again on the program for the part two session of this special interview with the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you for watching.